Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talking About Birds, the only Cardinal podcast that, like the Cardinals starting catcher, is about to be crooks. My name is Nate Heininger, and I am joined by my co-host, Vince Morgan. Thanks for the immediate validation. If you have an idea for the opening bit, text or leave us a voicemail at 848-48-BIRDS. Hambone, how you doing? How you feeling today?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Perfect, actually.
I feel like that's quite the opposite of what you told me 2 minutes ago, but that's fine. We're live now.
I would say I'm 100 out of 100.
Wow. Well,
maybe 101, maybe 102.
Damn. Statistically, that's not possible. Well, you've recovered quickly then from our little weekend that we just got back from. Congratulations again to Brandon and Biscuit. Brandon, friend of the show. Biscuit, tangentially aware of this show, I imagine.
He knows that we have a show.
Yeah. But we just spent the weekend together celebrating them. I walked up to you at the house. First time seeing you since you arrived, I said, "Hey, Hambone," and you said, "We don't have to talk, you know," or something like that. So that was cool.
Yeah. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, it was great. It was real good to see you.
We talked.
We did. We hung out. We had fun. It was a really fun weekend. We stayed at a very silly house. I don't want to dox it, although maybe they would want that because it was an Airbnb, but it was a very silly, like junkyard vibe, Pee-wee's Playhouse, sort of thing. That was interesting.
Fire hazard.
Yeah. Almost every single space of the floor was occupied by something, and maybe that thing is a gigantic china cabinet. Maybe that thing is a handmade robot. Maybe it's one of 6 fridges. There was a lot going on in this place.
Let's see. There's 3, 4.
4 in the kitchen.
There's bare minimum 5 fridges.
Yeah. 4 in the kitchen, right?
Yep.
1 upstairs.
1 upstairs. That's where we put our pizza in.
We had a long extended bit that we'd peaked because we had a second floor fridge, which is inherent luxury, full of pizza. Shout out to Blackthorn here in St. Louis. Great pizza place. A dense pizza for a party, but it was fun.
I'm a pizza eater. I think I had 1.5 slices of that pizza.
Yeah, well, it is ostensibly a Chicago style deep dish, although it's not.
But it's all cheese, which I feel stupid. I'm not complaining, but oh my God, there was so much cheese.
Yeah, it was a brick. It's like eating a brick.
It's like eating a brick.
It's good though. Spicy sauce. And use our
I'm more of a Cecil Whitaker type.
Use
of
our
guy.
promo code Talking About Birds on any pizza place for that 25% discount. I haven't had Cecil's in a long time, but I had it so much at one point in my life that we just referred to it as Cecil's.
The good stuff,
It is
man.
good. It is good. Hey, if you're out there listening and you have a favorite pizza place, let us know on socials.
Sure.
We did really fast go-karts. Hambone is a race car driver in real life. You have a race coming up. So were you, I think I asked you this in real life too, but what am I doing if it's not for content? I think the money was on you winning, considering you were the only one of the group who's done anything like this in any sort of consistent basis. And you did. You won. You took the gold. We got a shitty little gold medal. How do you feel?
Which I gave to one of the bachelors.
Great. Yeah. Nothing you want more after not winning a competition to be given the trophy by the person who did
garbage.
win. Yeah, the shitty little trophy. But these were fast go-karts, the type that I think we did the math. Averaging 30 plus miles per hour on a quarter mile track, which was fun. You won. How do you feel? Have you come down from that high?
No, that's why I feel so good today is because of that victory. Which, yeah, I mean, it was, I was the one that booked it. I suggested it.
It was all a setup so Ben could beat all his dumb friends in a race.
I thought you guys would like it, and I think everyone liked it. I also think like going fast is inherently fun, and I just happen to be, having a little bit more fun than everyone else.
It was fun, and I mean, to be fair to everyone else, like it on track, it's different. But you beat everyone. But even like where I came in, which was right in the middle, which was frankly surprised me. I was anticipating getting dead last. So for me, it was a massive victory, ending up in sort of the middle of the pack. But your like top speed beat me by like 3 seconds, which feels like nothing, but actually on the track, that's a significant difference. But I don't know. I was happy to only be 3 seconds behind first.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a quarter-mile track, it's all, everything's very small. Yeah. Happy you enjoyed yourself, Nate. And you were faster than I thought you would be.
Well, my first track, so the first lap I got done, the first practice run I got done, and a guy came up to me and said, "Hey, if you want to go slow, it's fine. Just stay on the outside." But I got there and ended up beating a bunch of these fools. So, it was fun. One last thing we have to talk about before we get into Cardinal news. I got you, well, not me specifically, but this got you to go to your first ever city match in St. Louis at City Park.
Yeah.
The game was interesting. An MLS record for most shots on goal ever by a team City had, which sounds great. That sounds like a thing that would be awesome and a record that you might want to have. That, of course, in classic 2025 City fashion, ended up in a 1-1 tie. It was
I feel like the baseball equivalent is like setting a record for most left on base.
Yeah, I think left on base or most hits, and still losing the game, I think would maybe be
right.
Like there's probably a game out there somewhere where a team got
but with
18
a hit,
hits.
there's actually something happening.
Yeah. Well, to be in soccer, a shot on goal, like the other team only got 2 shots on goal in the entire game. And some games you will end with, it's not uncommon for a game to end with less than 10 shots on goal,
which is why this sport is just inherently boring and I cannot get behind it. It is insane.
I get it.
The fact that you guys were like, Ben, did you like that? That was a good game. And I was like, it was? That was a treat?
Well, it was good in that we got a lot of shots on goal, which is an inherently exciting thing. But it went from this is crazy, this is fun, to like, Jesus Christ, score, please. Oh my God. And for them to ultimately tie, which was further embarrassing because the other team got a red card in the first 20 minutes and was playing with their third string goalie and down a man. So it was their third string goalie who stopped all this barrage. But really, Hambone, I'm bearing the lead here. There was a magical moment at the stadium that evening, and one that I'll end our little story here on. Maybe the single greatest thing that can happen to you at a stadium, and of all stadiums, this is the one for it to happen. The food processing system, the money processing system at the restaurant we chose to go to.
Yeah, not the me and you, the computers that take your payment.
the payment processing.
I'm the food processing system.
Insert food. The payment processing system at the restaurant that we chose to go to with Bulk and Treat Box, one of my favorite restaurants in St. Louis, it's incredible, was down. And normally you would think, oh, well, I just can't have this tonight. But the park, for whatever reason, chose to just comp all food from Bulk and Treat Box. So literally everything was free. Whatever you wanted. The entire menu, everything was free. And it wasn't just free. They were pushing it. We were like right there when the whole thing was going down. So I think we were some of the first to go in there. And I said, can I get a beef kebab and a soda? I got to make a Nate Heininger, 1/2 Pepsi, 1/2 lemonade. And she goes, is that all you want? I was like, she goes, it's free. I said, 2 kebabs? She goes, 2 beef, and handed me 2 like $25 because it's stadium
Yes.
pricing. I mean, our collective is a big group, and everyone took advantage of it. We probably walked out of there with like $800 of
I think
food.
I did not spend about $70 on myself.
And again, like this works out for Balkan too. I think that's why they were pushing it, because they were being reimbursed for everything. And I imagine they have a pretty large store of food to be able to make back there. So they're like, sell everything, give everything out. They were just doing tally marks for what they gave out. So it was incredible. Again, it's one of my favorite places, and like that's a dream at a stadium. You're normally expecting to spend exorbitant prices. At least at City Park, it's like local restaurants. You feel a little bit better about the high prices, but to get it all faux free was incredible. It was a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, that was the best single stadium experience I've ever had. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, especially you would think maybe they'd say like no, like I didn't get any drinks, but the group certainly did. You would have thought they'd maybe okay, like no beer or something like that. But no,
I had a cocktail.
Yeah,
it was delicious.
Everything was faux free, and that's my favorite flavor. Faux free. Ambo. So great weekend again. Shout out to Brandon and Biscuit wherever you are, and I guess we should probably talk about the Cardinals.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you want? What do you want to talk about first here? As we're in the last few weeks.
Well,
this is it.
I want to set it up. Okay. Nate. There's a lot of downer items on the outline today. So why don't let's have a little fun?
Oh.
Why don't we have fun for once on this show?
We're gonna have a little fun. Okay. All right.
And I feel like if I just say it in this tone with this cadence, people maybe think the fact that Masyn Winn is going to get off-season knee surgery due to a torn meniscus is good news.
We love this. We're having a great time.
He's gonna play the remainder of the year, even though, as we've talked about, he is kind of cratered offensively for sure. But no more damage can be done. I mean, it's torn, right? What are you gonna tear it again?
Sure. Well, I guess I don't know enough about a meniscus, but I would certainly think there would be like further tearing here. But again, we talked about this last week. I'm not a doctor. And so I'm just going to go ahead and trust the medical staff of the Cardinals here, especially there's truly nothing left for them in this regard. So if they thought there was even a minor chance of this getting worse, I imagine they would shut him down. So I have to just believe them. It feels crazy to me, but I guess why not? If there's no real risk, then just let them play.
Yeah, I still think. Well, I think the thing, and we'll talk about this later in the episode, is the fact that they are technically still in the hunt. So they think that they are putting themselves in the best place forward with a diminished Masyn Winn playing shortstop, and they might be right. He is possibly the Gold Glove shortstop in the National League this year. So, there's a lot of sense to be made, and we've talked about this throughout the season, and especially at the beginning of the season. There's not a lot of shortstop talent in the Cardinals.
One less.
Their entire system.
One less after this week as well. But, I was thinking about this too. You mentioned the Gold Glove. Is there a possibility that they're keeping him out there because I think he is probably the front runner. I haven't looked at a lot of the metrics, but he's leading in a lot of them. And I was wondering if maybe they're like, well, it's not going to make it worse. He's still playing very good defense. Should we just leave him out there and let him lock up that Gold Glove? I mean, I know I think organizations don't.
That's exactly.
You think it is?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening. I think it's twofold. Yeah. They're technically still in the race. They're 4.5 games back of a wild card, which I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not putting my eggs in that basket, but technically they're the ones playing the game, and it's really easy to convince yourself a good week of baseball could put us in the wild card, and then who knows after that. But yeah, I do think the other factor is that he is. I don't know if necessarily maybe he is the favorite. He might be the favorite to win the Gold Glove at shortstop. And why give him, if it's not going to hurt him anymore, why give Trea Turner or Joey Ortiz or whoever your favorite other shortstop is a little bit of a room to get that? I mean, Masyn Winn wants that. Well, of course he does.
Well, and
he'll probably won't say that to the media, but why would you not want that?
I wouldn't be surprised if he said, I want the gold glove. I would be surprised if he says,
Well,
I'm playing hurt because I want the gold glove.
That's what I'm. Yeah. He's not going to come out. I'd be very surprised if he were to come out and say that.
Yeah.
And I guess like I have to trust the medical staff to why would I guess if there's nothing else to be done, then it's fine. And it's kind of hard to imagine like even if it's JJ Weatherholt being called up, which might be a lot of fun. Is he going to play better than Masyn Winn, even with Masyn Winn having essentially zero power right now? Like, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and JJ's clearly being set up as not a shortstop. He has played it at times in his career, but I think that is not the typical ideal cup of coffee for a player is coming in and playing the premium position. And one that you are not expected to play long-term at the major league level. So, talk about being uncomfortable in your MLB debut. I guess if maybe Donovan were healthy, which we'll talk about, you'd have Donovan play a modest shortstop. So JJ could play second or something like that. But yeah, I mean, other than what
even Sajasi,
or Fermin, right, who's around. But
and hitting, by the way.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it is just like, well, he's the guy. He's our guy. He's a franchise guy. The doctors say it won't get worse. He's not really helping offensively, but it doesn't really matter right now. Let's just keep him out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more worried just about like, what does this mean for his offseason? What does this mean for recovery? Does this push back the Cardinals trying to extend him? Does it affect that conversation at all?
Yeah.
He's young. He's made of rubber. He's not a hulking person. Yeah. I feel like we'll probably just watch Masyn Winn take ground balls in spring training and no one will ever really bring it up much more. But you never know.
And maybe this is in the reporting somewhere because I imagine if this actually had an extended recovery timetable that could impact 2026, they'd be doing it right now. But I bet this is something that can be done in November or whatever, and he can have a relatively regular off season.
Relatively regular.
Epi title. All right. Let's move on. We're doing things positively. This is good. This one actually is good news.
Yeah. Willson Contreras is back from his 4-game suspension, which don't you love to see it, Nate? Came back and he's smacking the ball around already.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good hitter. It's good to have him back. To what end, I don't know, but it's just the team's more fun with him on it. And if you're still watching the games, which we are, and shout out to the Bird Squad, we got people in the seats in Seattle. We're everywhere. We are Legion.
Stop that. We're being light.
Remember when we thought Anonymous was going to save the world? And it just turned out to be a bunch of dingus. Where are they now?
We thought they were going to save the world.
Everyone's like, oh, they're going to bring down.
Should an internet hosted podcast poke fun at the Anonymous group?
I actually have a lot to hide. Never mind.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're a part of Anonymous, reach out. Let us know. I don't know. I don't know more what to say about Willson being back other than it's good to have a competent hitter in the lineup again. Same long-term questions about what's it going to look like for him next year on the team, that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just fun to watch him hit.
Yeah. And it kind of puts us back to where we were, like what does the outfield look like? Ivan Herrera obviously locking down the DH position. Alec Burleson is also back, so he'll probably be in left field. And then you got to cram Newt and Scott the second and Church and Walker, I guess. We'll talk more about Walker later, but it kind of just adds into that, complicated mix of the card. This roster is just so infuriating sometimes, but it is inherently good to get a Willson Contreras back when you're only 4.5 games back the wild card, Nate. It's We're sniffing it.
Crazier things have happened.
We've actually gained 2 games since last time you and I chatted, which when you look at the record and the baseball that has been in front of us, it is a little shocking, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a relatively easy schedule over the next few weeks. I don't know.
We'll see. If this team gets to the playoffs, I mean, it'll be. Is Miles Michaelis your game 2 starter?
He's gotta be.
Has to be.
What else would we be doing?
I don't know. Your dream of a bullpen start every
the entire
game.
Playoffs is a bullpen start. Yeah.
I'm just Matt Swanson until his arm falls off.
Riley O'Brien's back. He's looking good.
Yeah. I mean, really, Leahy and Romero and O'Brien and Swanson and they've all been pretty good.
Someone's going to do it. I mean, we've come close to it a couple times, but someone is going to get into the playoffs and do bullpen games for every game. I mean,
the Dodgers essentially did that last year, did they not?
Yeah, but without the, basically, right? So it's going to happen more and more and more. We're going to see no one's going to throw more than 2 innings, and it's going to just be all hands on deck, matchup. Go out there, throw your best stuff for an inning, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Even your starters, it's going to get there.
Yep. Yeah. We'll see. Brendan Donovan, this was Tuesday, has started his rehab assignment with the Springfield Cardinals. So we're kind of at this point. I think we've talked about this. Like it would really just be good for him to get a couple of big league at bats before this season ends, just so that we're all feeling good about everything and where his health is and yada yada yada. But don't rush it. It's going to be fine. Take your time down there, young man. No big deal.
Do you think so? We're as you mentioned already, we're exiting the point of some roster flexibility. We're especially if Brendan Donovan comes back. We're right back where we started the season, where we were in the middle of the season, and where we've really been for 2 years, 3 years now is very little clarity on the roster. And that's mostly been because of logjam and frankly, poor performances. The last 2-3 weeks or so, month or so, we haven't had that as much because of the injuries. Do you think we learned anything in the last month? Like, is there anything to take from that period and move forward with?
I think Nolan Gorman is looking like a better third baseman. Each game that goes
he had a really good play. Was that last night or the night before? Sort of a diving.
He's had a couple of really nice plays over at third base, and obviously Nolan Arenado is still not on the way back yet. So we'll keep seeing that. I think that Is that the end?
That's kind of where I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I guess we learned Gorman is able to more or less consistently hold down that position. I mean, he's the offensive profile is doing what we expected it to be. It's not leveling up, but it's he's hitting the ball hard and he's drawing walks. And I guess, that's a pretty good takeaway, I guess. Like, I would love for us to go into 2026 saying Nolan Gorman is a starter on this team somewhere, and like locking him in at whatever. But outside of that, I don't feel like we learned really anything except for maybe
JC. I mean, we've seen a lot. We've seen 227 plate appearances by Sid JC, and I think we've seen he's swing happy. Mm-hmm. We've seen that. There's been less power than I expected, but he's also 23, and this is his first extended time in the big league. So maybe it is just getting him that get used to it, and maybe maybe there's not too much to glean from this other than he is not totally overmatched, but he's not doing what he used to do in AAA and AA in the big leagues.
Yeah, you never want to make too broad a statements on a 23-year-old in their first taste of the big leagues. But if I may for a moment, he really does seem to class. To me, he's really fits the mold of that like utility player who will range from 2 to 6 starts a week depending on the current team comp and injuries and things like that. But he's not going to be a everyday player on the team in a traditional sense, which
Right.
to be fair and clear is like that. Every team needs that. That's a valuable position. You want your entire roster to be good. Good versions of the Cardinals have had these guys. One of them's a coach on the team right now, Daniel Descalso, things like that, but I'm not certain that we're going to see that power uptick. And I think that's going to likely cap his ceiling as a long-term starter.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that there is going to be more power than there currently is, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be like a 450, 500 slugging guy, but I think there's going to be, he's 1 home run in 227 plate appearances. I think there's going to be
more than that. Yeah.
There's got to be more than that. But yeah, I don't know. I think seeing more of him has been helpful and probably useful for the big league staff to understand what his skill set is and what he's going to be doing next year. But yeah, that's probably the only 2 things that have really come out of this.
So yeah, I mean, it feels like we're going to enter into the offseason having the exact same conversation we've had for years now. But I don't know, maybe Heim's going to come in and we'll see some, or not come in, maybe just, I don't know, flip his hat around or move one office to the left or whatever whatever the transfer power is going to be.
Let's talk about what I'm going to call, it's a bit of a Heim move, just because it doesn't really feel like something that Mo would do in the past. And that is we finally kicked Garrett Hampson to the curb. Garrett Hampson was designated for assignment to clear a spot for 29-year-old left-hander Nick Raquet.
R.I.P. to a real one. Thanks, Garrett. Rip in peace.
What did he do for us, Nate?
What did Garrett Hampson? I'm going to guess -3.3 WAR.
Not knowing how to spell Garrett. There we go. 2 T's. Sorry, everyone. All right, what do you guess is
-0.3 F4?
-0.3. Oh, swing and a miss. -0.2.
Yeah, come on. I'm as close as you can be. That's a foul ball at least. Come on, not a swing and a miss.
So he got
that's a towering foul ball, one that the crowd
towering flat foul ball.
For a second,
just missed a grand slam. He had 31 plate appearances. He had 1 stolen base, 1 RBI, 9 runs. He struck out over 41% of the time. He had a -28 WRC plus, and then, like I said, he totaled -0.2 FWAR. So anyways, they made room for 29-year-old left-hander Nick Raquet, as I believe it's Raquet.
Raquet.
He was Raquet. Yeah, it should be Raquet in my America. He was promoted to join the Cardinals in Seattle. We saw him pitch on Tuesday night. And he's kind of got a fun story. He quit baseball to work at an accounting firm, and then came back to the game, was a Cardinal, got released by the Cardinals last winter, bounced back on another minor league deal, and then showed enough promise to get another shot at the big leagues, and he is now back pitching for the Cardinals. And why I frame all this is because I feel like just kind of they picked up a guy. We saw him throw. He's kind of got a weird arm angle. He's a lefty. We don't have a lot of lefties in the bullpen right now. He's throwing enough. He's locating the fastball. It's a real sidearm, kind of hard, like mid-90s fastball that goes in on righties, and he's got a breaking ball that falls away from lefties. The fact that they just went out, found this guy, plugged him in, got rid of Garrett Hampson, who wasn't doing anything, and filled a need really quickly, and a guy that was essentially from nowhere. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, but this feels un-Mozeliak to me, and it feels a little more bloomy.
Yeah. First of all, just a quick observation on Garrett Hampson, 31 at-bats. Man, I guess his at-bats are like dog years to me. I guess for every 1 at-bat, it felt like 7. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like he had a lot more than 31. But But yeah, I guess I hadn't really thought about it that way because I do like this. This is one of the many things I like about baseball. I'm sure this sort of stuff happens in other sports, but I think it happens the most in baseball, where you have this guy who's like around 30 or even older, and they're like, oh, he was a garbage man for 3 years. Now he's back, twirling breakers and pitching for the Rays or whatever it is. And that just you love those stories, and what a crazy come up to go all the way to the big leagues from this. Pretty remarkable. And I guess just the pace of decision making is what you're calling out here.
That is
for
it.
this guy. I mean, the Hampson thing is the opposite, that he was here for too long. So if this is a Bloom thing, did he come in and be like, all right, come on, it's September. I'm in control of the roster now. This guy's out, this guy's in, like I don't know the mechanisms, but like that thing of, cutting this guy that shouldn't have been here and bringing in this guy out of nowhere, I hope is a sign of Bloom decision making, and one of a willingness to just cut dead weight and try something new rather than just keep running Hampson out there.
And we're looking at, he had 13 and a third innings in AAA. He dominated, at least as far as his metrics. His ERA was 4, but he was striking out everybody. He wasn't walking anybody. His FIP and XFIP were all good. And then they just bump him to the big leagues. And I know it's it's a relief pitcher. It's the 26 man guy, the 26 man on the roster. It is not a big deal at all. But I'm trying to will it into existence that this is maybe how the team will operate going forward. Maybe this is kind of a peek behind the curtain of what we can expect. And maybe, Nick Raquet is going to we'll never talk about him again, or we'll talk about how his arm falls off and gets hit out of the stadium by Julio Rodriguez. But, the fact that they did it, I think is great.
Well, we've talked about it a bunch, especially now. Every single roster space should be used for development and understanding the future version of this team. Garrett Hampson was not there. So maybe this particular guy is or isn't it, but it is a obvious better use of the limited resource of roster spots and big league playing time that you have. Even if Garrett Hampson was playing at league average, it was a waste of time because we know he's not a long-term part of this team. So let alone the fact that, he was doing what he was doing.
Just those Garrett Hampson at bats should go to Sajacy, should go to Nathan Church, should go to Jose Fermin, should go to anyone, anyone other than him.
100%. Yeah. So good luck to Nick. Maybe he's awesome. That'd be cool.
Maybe it was
a good start or a good, debut.
And he is, other than JoJo, it's good to have another lefty in the bullpen. So, filling a need is always good. Let's go down to the minors for a second. Liam Doyle pitched 1 2/3 innings in in A, and has been promoted to AA already.
Yeah, not uncommon for a college draft pick to immediately be placed somewhere in the higher minors. I guess they wanted his debut to be in the lower minors just to, get it out there, get him some reps. But it's good to see him at AA. It'll be a true test for him. But that's where he should be, I think. And so I'm excited about him. It seemed to me the fastball's working. The big question about him is the secondaries. And that's where he struggled a little bit in this debut, but it was 1.2 innings, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm more excited than I am anything else.
Yeah. So I would want to quote Daniel Guerrero of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. He said he was moved up from Single A Palm Beach today, allowing him to join Springfield for the final week of the regular season and a week ahead of the start of the Texas League playoffs. I don't see Doyle's debut in pro ball and promotion to Springfield to pitch in AA as odd or out of the ordinary because of the injuries that have hurt the Cardinals farm system. They're obviously going to be mindful of the lefty's workload. His debut made sense to get him innings in pro ball, and the promotion allows him to continue pitching and get experience in a higher stakes environment since Springfield will be appearing in the postseason. So
Makes sense.
I think that makes
Yeah.
sense. And maybe we'll get to watch Liam Doyle dominate the Double-A playoffs, which would be a lot of fun. I posted his part of his strikeouts in his debut in the Bird scored, and he is a baby child. First off, he's so young that it kind of hurts. But he is athletic. He is big. He is strong. That windup is aggressive and intense, and he hides the ball well. There's a lot that's really exciting about him, and getting to see him in pro balls is even more exciting.
Yeah, I think he's the real deal. Now, will we see him? Next year will we'll learn a lot, right? Full year.
Yeah,
probably breaks camp at Double-A, I would guess, unless this next week and a half or whatever goes absolutely insane. But I would expect him to start in Double-A, and then we'll see where it goes. With a clear path to the majors if he's good enough. But I suspect that the Cardinals will not rush it, and that's probably the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get excited about the prospect of Liam Doyle and Quinn Matthews being in your rotation at some point in the middle of next year, and maybe not dominating, but kind of double-headed lefty monster.
Yeah.
You start looking towards 2027 and the future.
Yeah, but also there's no such thing as a pitching prospect, so we'll see. This year was supposed to be the Quinn Matthews year, and here we are. So hopefully he stays healthy and continues to grow. But I'm a big believer. Every pitching prospect, you just gotta they'll break your heart.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at Quinn Matthews' game log. He didn't have a great start last week. It's the odds of him scratching the big league roster are getting smaller and smaller. But I do still think it would make sense to have him wear a Cardinals uniform at some point this year.
If you could see a September 29th home start or something like that,
Yeah. Even a bullpen appearance. I think just get the kid up there.
Yeah. I hope so, but also where our timeline is extending a little bit, I think. So I'm also gotten to the point of maybe we should let guys really succeed at AAA for a while before we call them up.
I have kind of made peace with the fact that, and I think we've talked about this to the extent that next year is. I'm not feeling amazing about our prospects next year as far as being competitive,
unless the DeWallet randomly opens up and we add a bunch of talent into the starting rotation. But even then, I'd be skeptical.
That would be dope. I mean, they're complaining about no one wants to go to baseball anymore.
Hey, don't worry though. The ticket prices are going up next year, so that's going to help.
Is in anticipation for a big signing, right?
Yeah, it's certainly that.
Perfect.
And remember, folks, eat at Arby's in the Cincinnati area if you want the Cardinals to go out and sign more.
Should they get Schwarber?
I know that's the obvious guy everyone wants the Cardinals to sign.
He just hit 50.
I don't think it makes sense. But it would certainly be nice to have a guy like that on the team. But of course I will never forgive him for what he's done to us. So
yeah, that is a good point. He did do what he adored.
He did what he adored.
Can't never forget him.
Forget him.
No, I would hope that if the DeWallet does open, we get ourselves a pitcher of some kind, maybe a pitcher around the age of 30.
Yeah. Scherzer is probably available.
Scherzer probably is available. But I think like a Shane Bieber.
Yeah, man, he's
or
good.
A Griffin Canning would be really fun. Jack Flaherty will be a free agent. Dylan Cease will be a free agent. Brandon Woodruff will be a free agent, very likely.
Was that a player option with Woodruff or was it a team?
Woodruff is a mutual option, which we know what happens to mutual options. Ranger Suarez will be a free agent.
It's a lot of talent.
there's a lot of interesting pitchers out there. And what would be great is if the Cardinals would do the thing where we're not going to be competitive this year. I guess do what they thought they were doing with Sonny Gray. It just didn't work out well. They thought they were going to be competitive immediately with Sonny Gray.
They thought they were going to be competitive this year.
Yeah. Like how the Cubs handled John Lester back in the day.
Or Jason Worth with the Nationals. That was a pretty famous one. And Rangers with Corey Seager, right? They signed him, and then it was the next year that they won the World Series. So it takes time to build a good team.
Michael King, another. There's a lot of interesting pitchers out there that the Cardinals could grab one or two of. John Means, maybe he'll be healthy.
Michael King would be interesting because I'm a real believer that he's a true ace when healthy. But he's been injured a lot this year, so I wonder if you could maybe get yourself a little disco. You know what I mean?
If you have a rotation of this is such wish case.
I know
this will never happen, but Michael King,
hey, we're having
Ranger
fun this
Suarez. Episode. That's right, Sonny Gray. And then you're going to sprinkle in a little Liberatore and,
McGreevy.
Your favorite of Quinn, Matthews, Michael McGreevy,
Miles
and
Michaelis.
Liam Doyle. Miles is coming back. There's a lot of fun out there.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I'm on board.
Would you want the Cardinals to sign Framber Valdez?
I mean, if it's him or nothing, then sure, I'll take a Framber, Framber me up, Framber me timbers. But if I'm picking out of the lineup that you just gave, he's pretty far down the list. I know, everybody is kind of an asshole, but that guy's a big dick. You know what I mean? So I don't, I'd rather do a Michael. They're all going to be expensive, so I'd rather not.
Who would you, if you could sign one player, would you sign Jordan Montgomery or Framber Valdez?
Well, I feel like that's
Framber's 32, Montgomery's 33.
I mean, probably Framber, right?
But what about Montgomery? He was so good for us. Remember, Nate? Remember?
Yeah,
you were there.
Has he pitched in the last 2 years?
I know he's been very hurt.
Yeah,
and when he has pitched, he's been very bad.
Yeah, that's what Framber is going to get hundos. You know what I mean? Montgomery's going to get a pillow contract sort of thing. So it's a fundamentally different.
Yeah, but you know what the Cardinals could actually get is a pillow contract.
That's
sort
true.
Of thing.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I guess. I mean, I'm not.
I want the Biebs. I want the Biebs. Give me Bieber.
He's going to get paid. He's looked good, and he seems to be fully recovered, and he's still only 30. He looked really good before the surgery. He looks really good after it. He's young. He's won a Cy Young. He's going to get paid. He's going to be like a Yankee or a Dodger.
Bieber and another pillow contract to Walker Buehler and hope he finally gets good.
Yeah, they just DFA'd him, right? So that did not work out well. I don't know. I think he's cooked, but you never know. These guys, that's the thing with pitching. They can, age doesn't really matter.
They can go work at an accounting firm for 2 years.
Yeah. I bet that they sign none of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know everyone thinks that the wallet is totally closed. But I think the only way to get fans back in the stadium is to grab a guy or two guys. Yeah. And the need is so abundantly clear.
Yeah.
Go get it. There's so many. I just listed so many pitchers. Are you telling me the St. Louis Cardinals cannot be in the conversation for one or two of those guys? That's horseshit.
It will be a very interesting offseason in that regard to see, does the change in management indicate any change from a front office ownership perspective around spending and building the team through free agents? We don't know yet.
Yeah, and we don't. We know, we only have a little bit of history to look at of Chaim Bloom and this free agency, and it's also clouded by the John Henry of it all. We know that he brought in why can't I think of the left-handed hitting Japanese players?
Masataka Yoshida.
Masataka Yoshida, he loved that guy's metrics, and that hasn't really translated, or at least he hasn't translated as a full ball player. And then we also know that the Trevor Story thing, there was a little bit of an ownership involvement in bringing Trevor Story in.
Who's having a very good year, by the way, if you haven't been.
He is. I talk about guys who I thought was cooked. I was not
Yeah.
sure that Trevor Story had a season like this
Yeah.
in him again, and I'm very happy to see him do what he's doing. But I guess what I'm saying is I think it's hard to predict what Bloom is going to do when he is signing established free agents, or if he's going to sign established free agents.
Yeah, you're right, because before that he's with the Rays, who, which is where he got his name, and was sort of the reason teams want to hire him.
Right.
And
we know that he can trade for Yandy Diaz.
It worked out.
It did.
Diaz has been good. And clearly he represents himself well in these sorts of conversations, because he got, he was removed from Boston, but then basically walks over to the heir apparent to one of the most historic franchises in baseball. Like there's clearly he has a reputation above and beyond the outcomes of what happened in Boston.
Yeah. I think I feel pretty confident in saying that John Henry was being confusing, and it cannot be argued with that Chaim Bloom set Boston up for the ridiculous prospect capital that they are relying on right now.
Yep, John Henry, go back to your train.
Like, you think about, like, the only reason they the only reason they got Garrett Crochet is because they moved some of the prospects that Chaim Bloom acquired in the first place. Like, it wasn't Kyle Teal like a big part of the Crochet deal. Like, anyways.
All right. Well, huge tangent, but interesting. I mean, this is, I guess, a little preview to what we're thinking about for this offseason. It'll be interesting, even if we don't have a lot of movement. But I'm hoping for like a cleaning house sort of thing from Chaim Bloom, and we have a surprisingly active offseason. You want to talk about Nathan Church a little bit? Church is in session.
Yeah. Let's talk about Nathan Church. He's been with the club for a little while now, and September has only been happening for a little while now, and he's only played in a few games since that. But would it surprise you, Nate, to learn that the best player, according to F-WAR, for the St. Louis Cardinals in September is Nathan Church? He has somehow done that in only 4 games. He is hitting .500. He's playing stellar defense. He's running the bases well. These numbers are all basically cartoonish, so it doesn't even really do any good to repeat them, other than the fact that he's been the most valuable overall player for the Cardinals in the month of September, which we are recording on the 10th right now. What do we do with that?
Let it ride. What else are we doing? Why not? Yeah, it's probably, result of some luck and small sample and whatnot. But you got a young guy, a prospect you've been excited about before. He's up. He's playing well. He's doing the things that he's supposed to do well. Why stop it? It'll normalize at some point. The league will adjust or whatever. But let him go. Let him ride. We got nothing but opportunity right now. I like
nothing but opportunity.
I like BS2.
I want it,
but like Church is in session, baby. Praise be. You know what I'm saying?
That was tight. That was so tight.
Thanks, dog. I know you always got my back.
Church. Yeah, I feel like I've been banging the Fermin drum for a while, and I feel like nobody. I don't understand. Did you watch the end of the game last night?
I did not see the end of the game last night.
Fermin against Munoz. Munoz, one of the best he's the closer for Seattle, one of the best closers in baseball. 2 absolutely disgusting pitches. He fights off. He late swing to fight off a nasty sweeper and away from him in the bottom corner of the strike zone, and then he comes at him with another sweeper and bangs it right up the middle and dumps a liner single in front of Julio Rodriguez to pass the baton to the next guy. If the next guy hits a home run, it's a tie game. I just think, obviously, he is not the best player on the Cardinals. He's not a great defender. He is a flawed player. But watching him at the plate, I am convinced that there is something there. I think that this kid can really hit, and he's not even a kid. What is he, like 26 years old or something at this point? I just, I, I don't know what you do with him. He's not a perfect player. He's a little bit of an Alec Burleson, like not a great out or defender, but the kid can hit. I think he can hit, maybe even better than Alec Burleson. His minor league numbers are ridiculous. And in his 46 plate appearances in 2025 for the Cardinals, which has been sprinkled over a few cups of coffee, he's hitting, his slash line is 300, 391, 425, giving us a WRC plus of 135. It's everything he's done is be good.
Yeah, it is interesting for a player like that to get zero prioritization over a player like Burleson to be highly prioritized who can't play any position. And we've seen what that's done by Burleson is going to end the season as a below average major league player, not hitter, but player. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I don't really, there's just these guys. It's something about the profile, something about it. It's probably like age to level is some of it. It's like, yeah, you're crushing AAA, but you're 26 years old. And you're playing against a bunch of 20, 21-year-olds, There's something in that. We saw that with Luke and Baker. It's like, yeah, you crush bombs, but you're 28 years old.
By the way, I looked it up earlier today. Baker is crushing for AAA Dodgers team. He's gonna get called up, and he's gonna make every Cardinals fan cry in the playoffs. I'm telling you, he's got I think it was like a 140 something WRC plus with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
There's also the quad A player is a thing. They're too good for AAA, but they're not good enough for the major league level. Now, for me,
the quad A player is a thing, but he's rocking a 135 WRC plus in a very small amount of time.
But that's what I was
right
about
now.
to say. Is Fermin hasn't yet looked like a quad A player. He just hasn't gotten the chance.
Also, I'm looking in about 500 at bats in between last year and this year in AAA. He is averaging a 147 WRC plus. Maybe he is just a AAA rock star and it won't translate. But we got a few weeks of baseball left. I want to see Jose Fermin.
Yeah.
Also, he's got a goofy stance.
I love a goofy stance.
I just like, there's a lot about it I like. He hits right-handed. We need that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know though, Hambone. The Cardinals are in it. Can you afford these at-bats to this guy?
When he's playing, he's one of the best hitters on the team. Have you looked at how bad the offense, like just the WRC plus, the OPS plus, whatever you want to call it, like, or however you want to look at it, how bad we are across the board? I think, let's see, we have Willson Contreras, Brendan Donovan, and Ivan Herrera. Oh, and sorry, Alec Burleson. Those are the only hitters that are hitting above 100 on the WRC plus scale.
Yeah, and most of that is from average, not power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we hate home runs.
We hate a home run, don't we, folks? And if I may pour cold water a little bit on Nathan Church, too, there's basically nothing in the underlying metrics that indicates that he's like playing particularly well, other than he has a 90.1 average exit velocity, which is slightly above league average and can be an indicator of future success because that means even as brand new to the league and very young, he's hitting the ball very hard. But pretty much everything else has him pretty low. But
yeah, I don't expect him to hit 500 on the season or anything like that. But I think it's illustrative of where we're at right now on the team. And, I don't know. So, Nate, I'm looking at the outline, and I see you want me to skip this. I don't want to skip this, but I will make it really quick.
Well, fake news. I never said skip this. Talk about it.
I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to say why I brought it up, and then we can go straight to commercial, okay? Jordan Walker is tied for the fifth worst player in MLB this year with negative 1.3 F/WAR. He also has the 13th lowest xWOBA in 2025 in all of baseball. Those are hitters with 250 at-bats or more. I think for the remainder of this season, you probably just let him sit up there and ride the bench. I'm calling for it. He needs to go down. He needs to start next year in AA or AAA. We need to hit the reset button. I don't know if it's tape. I don't know if it's swing path. I don't know if it's the league has figured him out. I don't know what it is. But by any way you slice it, he's gotten worse the more he's played in Major League Baseball. It's not working. He has remaining options. We need to do it.
Yeah. The reason I said to skip it is because this is not happy, and this is a happy episode by your own words. So bummer, but I don't know. I've been like the most like, hell yeah, Jordan Walker guy. We both have, but I feel like even more myself. There's nothing really to argue with there. At this point, we're nearing almost a full season at the major league level, which is what we've all been calling for. Just let them be up there and let them rip. And they've done it, and it hasn't worked. So I would be very surprised if he is the starting right fielder in 2026. He might not even be on the team. He may be
he is barely slugging 300.
Yeah. We've seen moments of good. We've seen what it looks like when it's good. He's just not doing it consistently. So I don't know.
And I will say, by any metric, he has improved as an outfielder.
Yeah.
No one can argue that. But everything else has gotten worse.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. That's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry. It'll make more room for Nathan Church.
Oh, hell yeah. And what an S-tier name that guy's got. Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, we're going to talk about the upcoming series, some league news, and, of course, we're going to play a little game. But before we do that, we want to remind our listeners that this show is listener supported on patreon.com, patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds, where you can find all your Talking About Birds needs. We've got many different tiers providing many different things, but subscribers of any level get access to our private Discord server. It's the Bird Scored. It's a good place to be, even in the upcoming off season. You know, news is going there first, so you don't have to filter through MLB trade rumors or whatever shitty social media platform you're on. Don't worry, we do that for you, or rather Jake does that for you mostly.
Shout out Jake.
But really, it's a centralized place to get news about the Cardinals and a place to talk about it with your friend, with other listeners and other people who are like us. And you know, it's cheap. So I think it's both fun and a service. So check it out. Talkingaboutbirds.com has all of our links, but patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds is there. We appreciate everyone who takes a couple minutes to leave a review of their favorite podcast platform, and tell your friends, tell your family. Maybe it'll be more fun to get into a Cardinal podcast when there's not games going on, you know, and we can just we can go back to dreaming on 2026.
I think we operate as like a methadone for baseball freaks in the offseason. I'd like to think we do.
I like to think so. And like a little peek behind the curtain, interestingly enough, like our biggest listener bumps have typically come during the offseason. And I don't know if that's because every season has been bad for a while, or people just look for content and it's not really there and we are. But either way, like, you know, it's a good time to hop on the show, and we try to keep it fun and interesting during the offseason. So still a good time to hop on the show and tell your friends, tell your family. Hambone, we got other online elements. Where can people find them?
Yeah, also just to plug the show a little bit more, we'll also like follow the playoffs and, you know, the whole offseason. You know, we track it all. It's not like we go away or anything like that. Anyways, you can follow us on all of the social media bullshit. We're on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. You can listen to this show on Spotify if you like to do that kind of thing. You can watch this show. You can watch the video feed of this show if you want to. Watch us on the YouTube. Watching us on YouTube. Nate. Hey, Nate's. Oh, he's throwing it. He's throwing it to the left. He's throwing it to the right. He's chunking a deuce. You can see all that stuff if you go watch our faces on YouTube. You can find all the podcast information at talkingaboutbirds.com. We have shirts, all the podcast links, socials, all that crap over there. You can email us at talkaboutbirds@gmail.com. And of course, you can call us and leave a voicemail or send us a text message to 848-48-BIRDS. That's 848-482-4737.
That's right, 848-48-BIRDS. It's a lot of birds. I meant to bring this up at the top of the show, Hambone, but I forgot. Also, a programming note. Next week, it'll be Hambone and someone else. I have to leave again. And then later this month, you're out also, right? At a time?
Next month, my friend.
Okay.
Next month.
All right. So, Hambone, we've got a couple series coming up as the Cardinals continue their playoff push. What do we got coming up first?
Over the next 15 games, Nate, the Cardinals are going to have 12 of those games against NL Central rivals. I actually got to give MLB credit. If the Cardinals were relevant, which they might be at the end of this 15-game stretch, this would be really exciting.
Sure.
But I have a feeling we're going to get our asses handed to us. We are going up against the buzzsaw that is the Brewers. Cardinals at Milwaukee for 3. And, we've kind of had, obviously the Brewers have been surging, but the Cardinals have been away. We've been out doing our own thing. We haven't been paying attention to this because we're not playing them. But the Cardinals are going to go into the Brewery. It looks like we are going to face Quinn Priester, Brandon Woodruff, and Jacob Misiorowski. We are missing Freddie Peralta, so that's good. But, Quinn Priester is good. Jake Woodruff just came back, and is shoving. And we saw Jacob Misiorowski on his debut. This guy is nails.
He's good.
Nasty, nasty stuff.
Yeah, Jackson Churrio's back after an extended stint on the IL, and he's picked up right where he left off. Absolutely crushing the ball. I think he has a home run today, and while we're recording, they're a good team. So it's going to be a tough series. But I don't know. It'll be fun to see some of the stars on the Brewers, I guess. But
yeah, did you have Bryce Durang being like a top 50 player in baseball on your bingo card?
That wasn't on my 2025 bingo card. No, I thought of him really as like a slap hitting speed guy. And the power he's shown has been quite surprising.
The one that makes me the most mad, and I think we talked about this last time we played them, but it's the Andrew Vaughn thing and the fact that he is still playing well. There was reports on background that the reason that Andrew Vaughn wasn't having or was not living up to his potential was because like he would leave spring training early and go play golf, and he wasn't one of those last guy to leave. But I really just think it is the White Sox. His WRC plus over 52 games since leaving the White Sox is over 100 points better than it was. He had just under 100 points. He had a 42 WRC plus with the White Sox this season, and with the Brewers, he has a 141.
Yeah. Now,
ridiculous.
I do think he's slowed a little bit over the last couple of weeks, although he just had a couple really big games, so maybe he's coming back. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of damning to, be that guy on a bad team. But I guess if you zoom out enough, you're like, man, it must suck to be a White Sox. Like, I think we've all been there. Like if you work for a shitty place, it's kind of hard to be motivated, even if doing well there can be huge for your career long term. Like if you just are not in a place that is fostering that sort of success, it can be a struggle.
Yeah.
And the Brewers clearly have a good process.
Yes, they do. Yes. We're going to have, I announced the Brewers pitchers, but we'll have Palante, Gray, and Michaelis going against their 3 guys. So we'll see how that goes.
Just every matchup with Palante and Michaelis, I just think like, all right, who are the home run hitters on the other team? Like who's gonna take off, so.
Miles and Palante haven't been absolute dog shit recently, though. So maybe.
I know. I guess we'll see.
All right. So after that, the Reds come to Busch Stadium for 3 games, Nathan. The Cardinals are going to face Zach Littell against Matthew Liberatore, Andrew Abbott against Michael McGreevy, and Brady Singer versus Andre Palante.
This is a winnable series, Hambone. The Reds are a bad team on the road. Their offense is not doing anything on the road. So this could be better. Now Cardinals still have every problem they have. But playing the Reds at home, it's a better matchup. But I mean, Ellie hasn't.
They're not particularly hot right now. Like none of the team is really hitting right now, or at least hitting to a degree which they can. Like we know how good they can be. Their pitching is fine. But yeah, I mean they're in a weak spot right now. Even Emilio Pagan has slowed down
Are
recently.
we going to see Hunter Green?
We will
Okay,
not see
because Hunter
Green
Green is good and taking seemingly another step up. That guy, if he stays healthy, he's a Cy Young contender.
Yeah, he is. He is very, very legit. Even I might say too legit to.
Oh, I'm not quitting him.
Quit playing baseball. But yeah, I agree. Winnable series. This team isn't that great. They're massively flawed, and they're not playing extremely well right now. So let's go Birds.
And I mean, we're neck and neck with them. Where are we in the? Let's see. Where are we in the playoff standings with those guys?
So they are a game and a half above us. The Cardinals are 72 and 74. Cincinnati is 73 and 72. Arizona 72 and 74. We're all kind of bunched up. The Giants are also in that conversation, kind of chasing the Mets and the Padres.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So we just had to jump the Giants, the Reds, and Arizona.
Yep. Which is really the short winning streak over a couple of mediocre teams.
Calling it now. Place your bets. 2025
It
St.
is
Louis Cardinal World Series champions.
I hate talking about baseball in this way, but it really is like who's going to get hot
in the
who's
last
just
2
going
weeks.
to get lucky the last 2 weeks. And that
4.5 is a lot over 15 games. You know, you really
it is.
like I think if you're even the Reds, you're like 3 games, like that can happen. Giants for sure, 2 games, 4.5 behind 3 other teams. You're really
But where I'm coming from is the Mets aren't playing particularly well right now. The Giants are a very flawed team, and then Cincinnati and Arizona, they could also have really like this could all change very quickly is what I'm trying to say. I do not expect the Cardinals to make
be hilarious if after all of this.
But
if after
possible.
all of this they get the last wild card spot, I don't even know what I'd do with myself.
Yeah. Podcast about it?
Probably release a weekly podcast about it. Yeah. No, that'd be the first episode we miss. We finally
Cardinals playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be about right.
All right. Let's run through some league news real quick. What do you got for us, Hambone?
Yeah, not too much to talk about. The Phillies placed Trea Turner and Alec Bohm on the injured list because no team wants to just be dominant this year.
Yep.
It just can't happen. I'll just kind of piggyback on that. The Dodgers, 81 and 64 is crazy.
They're under 500 since the All-Star break.
Insane to me. Just never thought this would happen.
Sasaki's coming back soon.
Yeah, Sasaki's coming back soon. It's 2 of the best teams in baseball. One just hasn't playing well, and the Phillies take a huge hit, losing their all-star shortstop, and then Alec Bohm, which is less terrible for them. But Trea Turner going down is a big deal.
He's been good. I mean, he's always good, but he's been really good recently. Huge shot against one of my fantasy baseball teams too, which everyone cares about. Actually, by the way, we're in the Bird Scored Fantasy Baseball Playoffs, Hambo, of which you are a part of, though I'm not sure you're aware of that.
No. I went in and set my lineup today. I even made some player trade or some acquisitions. Okay. I saw it on the Bird Scored, so I went in.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, yeah. I set some stuff up today.
Well, I'm in there too. Coming for that championship.
There's nothing I love more than a fantasy baseball playoff run.
Love it so much you say it clearly and directly. Anyway, yeah, Trea Turner going down. I mean, and also Masyn Winn, Gold Glove chances maybe helps a little bit.
Yeah, let's go. Should we talk about home run Karen, Nate?
Man,
it's rare that baseball news breaks through to the mainstream, and then of course it's something like this.
There's been a trend of this recently of douchebags and crowds, being called out.
Yeah, I guess if you didn't see this, there was a home run. I believe it was a Phillies home run in Miami. A gentleman ran over, picked up the ball, took it over, handed it to his young son. I'm guessing that kid was like 10 or younger. And a lady in a Phillies full Phillies gear,
course.
really walked over and kind of admonished the husband or the father and the son and took the ball away. And I'll just say the meme of her turning around and then it's like AI slowly transforming her face into Gollum's face from Lord of the Rings as she cradles the ball close to her face and whispers to it. I thought that was pretty good. That's art.
I'm on Team Karen's side. I think she deserved
You've
that.
said this. You are a home run hawk.
She deserves the ball.
You want to catch these balls and you want to sell
kid.
them. You said this many
What's
times.
What's that kid going to do with that? Play with it, have a lifelong memory? Come on. She deserves the ball. Give it to her.
It's a great point.
Just like that billionaire or whatever deserved that signed hat or whatever from that guy.
Oh, the tennis match, yeah.
And those other two at that concert, they didn't deserve that. All right? They should be able to have affairs in their own privacy. Okay? So
they should be able to have affairs in their own privacy.
It was a clear
at a Coldplay concert. You're bringing up the Coldplay
It's
people?
all related. People are getting roasted on jumbotrons left and right now. So I'm here for it. Right. I support all of them.
Anthony Rizzo has announced his retirement. He was at the Yankees game, and I guess met with the press and announced that he is officially retired. I think it's weird. I like Anthony Rizzo for a lot of reasons, and then I will forever hate him for even more reasons. Yeah. Just from a Cardinals fan perspective, I don't know if there's ever been a more, maybe Carlos Zambrano. Is he more annoying than Anthony Rizzo?
Or
I'll have to think about that. Derek Lee always pissed me off back in the day too.
Was it Bud? No, not Bud Smith. What was the pitcher? There was a Cardinal killer pitcher that always drove us all crazy. He was bad against everyone except for the Cardinals. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway,
Kyle Hendricks is another guy up there that I hate, but he was good for a while. Anyways, there's just something. It was about his style and how he crowded the plate, and it just was always seemed to be clutch. Anyways, glad he's not a Cub anymore, but I think a Hall of Very great. He won't be a Hall of Famer. He'll go to the Cubs Hall of Fame. But just a player that I feel like I'll never forget about Anthony Rizzo. He has a huge stain on my heart and mind.
Yeah, he's a Cubs legend. I mean, arguably, I know Chris Bryant was probably the bigger player in that moment, but as far as Cubs legacy goes, is Rizzo like the face of their World Series championship? Like
I think if the Cubs had a captain, it would be Rizzo.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because Javi Baez also very important. Chris Bryant, very
Dexter
important.
Fowler,
John Lester, very important.
Yeah.
Young Kyle Schwarber.
Sure.
There's a lot of good players. But I would say, and I bet Cubs fans would say it was Rizzo was the guy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Pretty good Yankees career too. It made sense for him to be there, and ups and downs like any aging player, but overall, pretty good time with the Yankees too.
Yeah, there is something I normally don't really care about getting older and aging and everything like that, but seeing players younger than me retire is always like,
you're like, I want to retire.
Yeah,
I'd love to quit this podcast.
He is Anthony Rizzo is 35. I'm looking at it. I'm 7 months older than he is. So it's close. It's close.
Yeah. Wah, little baby. Yeah. Yep. Rip to a real one. Good luck, Rizzo.
We kind of hit this already, but I did just want to take a moment and talk about the NL wildcard picture. Although we just hit this, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to say other than I think the big things that I had is, wow, they are really clustered up. Anything can happen in between those teams. I would really love to see the Padres leapfrog the Dodgers and put the Dodgers back into a wild card position just to see something different than the Dodgers at the top. And they are the Dodgers are 81-64. The Padres are 79-66. That can happen, in a couple of games in a series. Really, they can leapfrog the Dodgers. So I'm rooting for that. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Milwaukee and the Cubbies, they're off in the distance doing their own thing. But in between the Dodgers, Padres, Mets, Giants, And I guess we can throw Cincinnati in there. It's an interesting dogfight, and maybe Arizona and St. Louis, will have something to say about it. But I think it's been pretty interesting, and it should be. I was kind of alluding to this. Other than the Brewers, the teams aren't as dominant as I thought that they would be, and I didn't think the Brewers were going to be dominant. Right. I guess to preface that.
Yeah, I mean Philly is losing Trey Turner is rough, but they're pretty dominant. They're 25 games over 500. I think you would call that pretty dominant. But everything else, this is a pretty tired take at this point. But really, to me,
they're not on pace to win 100 games. I guess is what I was. But yeah, you're right. The Phillies are good. Don't get me wrong.
Pretty tired take, but to me, this is just an extension of the expanded playoff system, which we've had for quite a while now. So I'm not even. It's fine. But you've got 10 of 15 teams can call themselves in it, and 5 of those teams are pretty flawed teams, so is that good? I don't know. I mean, whatever, I guess, it like playoffs are a random championship generator anyway. So why not throw as many, lottery balls in there and just make it more chaotic and let mid teams in there? I see the value of that from just like a gameplay ratings perspective. Like, let's see what happens, from like a competitive standpoint. You're like, well, do any of these teams do the Cardinals really feel like a team that is even on the outside of a playoff shot? It's like, should they feel like that?
No.
Like, no, but it's just because so many teams get in. What I'll be curious to see to wrap up this point is when we get to expansion, do they add another team? Or add another team.
I really hope not.
Add another team to the playoffs.
Yeah,
because that would help.
I really hope.
I hope not too, because I guess if I had my choice, I like the idea of only the good teams make the playoffs. And I know the division system has a situation can result in that not being the case too. So I've been a fan of the idea of 2 16-team go old school, 2 16-team leagues. Top 6 make the playoffs. Be very unlikely
I think
that a mediocre team gets in.
Yeah, but I think the way the wild card works, while I don't love it, does allow all the good teams to get in. Now they might not have the most favorable seed or situation, but they all get in.
I agree that all the good teams get in. It's obviously because there's bad teams getting it. You know what I mean? Like it's more likely if an 83 win team wins their division, they didn't block another team from getting in, right? So that works. You're right. But I'm less interested in mediocre teams getting in and more interested in just like let the best teams play against each other. And I don't know, maybe it's just that there's only 5 good teams right now anyway, and no matter what, this 6th spot is going to be kind of a dogfight. Even if there were 16 teams or whatever, but I think there would be more parity. But again,
I think there's like 4 good teams in the National League right now, and everybody else is kind of like making it work.
Is that parity or is it bad? Is it too top heavy, or do we actually see like some parity here? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Then we're talking about a spending floor. Do we need to make teams spend more money and just
because I think to be fair, like if you were drawing up this, if you were predicting this 6 months ago, this isn't what you're predicting, right?
No,
and you probably don't have.
But you're predicting Philly, Cubs, Dodgers, San Diego, Mets.
Yeah,
I think Milwaukee is the one surprise.
Yeah, and then Giants being
and Toronto on the other side is another surprise.
And Giants and Cincinnati being the 2 teams right on the cusp of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Baseball is unpredictable. It's a little predictable sometimes. Like, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of baseball to happen left, I guess.
Kind of. Like 2 weeks of baseball.
In the scheme of this specific conversation, there's a lot of baseball to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got, Nate.
All right, let's finish this up, Hambone. We're going to play a favorite. It's been a couple months since we've done this, actually. We're returning to Who Is This Guy? if you're unfamiliar with the game, I have a player who has played for the St. Louis Cardinals at the major league level at some point in their career. I'm going to give Ben a series of clues, starting very, very obscure and getting more and more specific. Hambone here makes a guess after every clue until he gets it. Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. This player was born October 15th, 1995 in Burbank, California.
October 15th, 1995.
Right in the heart of spooky season.
Really, very likely that he is still playing. So what? Yeah, that puts him. He'd be about what 29, 30, something like that. What city again? Sorry, one more time.
Burbank.
California kid. He's about 30. Wow. Where is Ryan Helsley? Is he under 30? Is he from Burbank? Or is he from the South? I don't know. Where is Ryan Helsley from? I don't know. Let's see. California kid. I'll just go with my first thought was Ryan Helsley. Let's go with Ryan Helsley.
Incorrect. This player has played in no particular order for Detroit,
Dang it,
the Dodgers, St. Louis, and Baltimore.
Jack Flaherty.
You got it. Got it in 2.
Dang.
Yeah.
Where's Ryan?
I don't know.
Sorry, I got to look up Ryan Helsley because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is he a California kid or no? He's wait. No, he's Oklahoma. Okay. Ooh.
So I always get torn on this game because I like to have a consistent pattern, but every once in a while the process is pretty revealing. So I like to pick players who have played for a lot of teams, and it's really hard to do like just St. Louis guys, you know. But I thought that was enough to maybe obscure it a little bit, but obviously, I thought maybe forget about one of those stops. But yes.
Unfortunately, I have thought about Jack Flaherty an inordinate amount of time due to his or compared to his performance and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but Jack Flaherty he has occupied a lot of space in this old brain.
Well, let me give you the rest of his clues here, and I think it actually speaks to it a little bit. So the third clue is he was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals in the first round, the 34th overall pick in the 2014 MLB June Amateur Draft. Pretty good outcome for the Cardinals that their late first round pick made it to the majors. Clue 4, he had a monster breakout year in 2019, leading the NL in hits per 9 and whip. He has, since 2010, the 7th most F-WAR by a starting pitcher for the Cardinals. Wow. Yeah.
God, he was so good that year.
So he had 5.9 F-WAR that year. In his career, he's at 10. So that was a monster year. And
he's still pretty good. He's just not.
He's
great.
Currently leading the AL in losses, but that doesn't mean much all the time. But certainly not a stat you'd like to be.
I'm looking at all of his advanced metrics, and he's having a good year. Yeah. He's good.
And my final clue was this outspoken starting pitcher was disliked by a bunch of ding-dongs for having the gall to publicly support Black Lives Matter and other social justice movements.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
What if Jack came back to the Cardinals? Did I mention that in one of he'll be a free agent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe with Mo and everyone gone, he would come back.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, he had a really good year last year. I believe we're good like second half or so. And so I like Jack. Here, I got a real quick who charted for you, Hambone. Can you name the top 5 starting pitchers by F-WAR in the last 15 years for the Cardinals?
Oh my God. Top 5 last 15 years?
From 2010 to this year.
Okay, Adam Wainwright.
Number 1. By a lot. By more than double.
By a lot. Yeah. Sonny Gray.
No, Sonny Gray is number 10.
Number 10. Okay. Jeez. Who pitched for us? Jack Flaherty?
Jack Flaherty. It was in the clue. He is number 7.
Number 7. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay. Who am I not thinking of right now? Who has been a good Cardinals pitcher?
It's a tough question. Just that question. Who has been a good Cardinal pitcher is a difficult question.
I feel I know all these guys. I know the answer. Nothing is coming to mind right now. Adam Wainwright pitched with.
Everybody below him is less than half of what Adam Wainwright goes. I'm just gonna give them to you, and I'll give you one more guess, one more pull a name, and then
John Lackey. I don't know.
John Lackey, not in.
No, he's probably before 2010, wasn't
no,
he?
He was in the middle of the 20. He was like 2013, 2014, 2015.
I like Jordan Montgomery. I can only think of guys that were here for 1 second. Who has been here?
Well, number 2. Well, actually, number 2 and number 3 are tied. We'll see how this ends at the end of the season. Number 2 overall, Miles Michaelis.
Oh, Jesus. That's pathetic.
Yeah. Tied with him is Lance Lynn.
Yeah.
After that is Carlos Martinez.
Oh, God. For some reason, that was just feeling way longer ago than the past 15 years. But yeah, I guess you're right.
All pretty much exclusively in the 2010s. Carmar, only half a WAR behind Lance Lynn and Miles Michaelis. And then number 5, our best friend, Jaime Garcia, Jamie Garcia himself.
Yeah, mean to me at the mall one time. Love Jaime Garcia.
Here's how the Cardinal starting pitching has been so bad for the last 15 years. How bad was it that Chris Carpenter is number 8 overall on that list?
Wow. God.
Yeah. Kyle Loge.
Go get Ranger Suarez.
Yeah. Shelby Miller. Jake Westbrook.
I remember him. I was there.
We were there for all of this.
I've read the texts.
Yep. Matthew Liberatore down at number 18 at 2.8 F4. One of the best Cardinals of the last 15 years. Top 20 pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals of the last 15 years, Matthew Liberatore.
I hope that's how Chaim Bloom's presentation started. Like, look at this. We need to fix this.
By the way, Adam Wainwright was 35.1. So, again, Miles was 15.5 as the second highest.
That Adam Wainwright sure is good. Or sure was.
We like him. I like him mostly for his country music career.
Let's fly together or whatever.
I'm always gonna be a Cardinal. It's the Cardinal way.
Turn the episode off. What do we stop
All
this?
Right. That's gonna do it for this week's episode. Thank you everyone for being here as always. Hambone will be back next week. I'll be back after that. And again, talkingaboutbirds.com for all your Talking About Birds social media and online needs. Check it out. Check out the Patreon. Thanks again to the patrons. We'll be back. And until next week, let's take that wild card spot. Go Cardinals.
Sure. All right. They're going to give it to you. Just take it.
All right. Bye.
Talking about